excited to have you on this class. It's a very important course, it's a very important topic to be able to analyze business data as a company or as an individual. With this ever growing importance of data in this age, it is very important to have these skills under your sleeves. As a company, or as a startup or a small company, it will be difficult to hire a data analyst to be able to analyze your data for you in order to get meaningful insight to become competitive. But with this tutorial, you'll be able to collect data, analyze it, make reports, and see where your business is going and understand the dynamics of your business. You understand your competition better. You'll be able to make informed decisions. You'll be able to know which products are selling, which products are not selling, which products you need to cut off, which products you need to market well, where your strength is, where is your income coming from, which customers are loyal to you, where are the sales highest. You will be able to analyze all this from data analysis with the focus being on business. And this class is supposed to, or is this class will equip you to be able to do that. Data is, as I said earlier, the new gold that a lot of companies, Facebook and other companies are leveraging it very well, and they are cashing out big on it. So if you're a company and you're not using data, it's a loss for you. You will not be able to be competitive. You will not be able to. Data is like your eyes. It's like if you don't use data, it's like you're in darkness. You will not be able to see where you're going, and your business will suffer. Your business will lag. You will face resistance because you will be groping in the dark. So this class is supposed to bridge that gap, because going to hire a data scientist, as I said, is very expensive. But you can do basic data analysis yourself, and you'll be able to make informed decision, an expert decision, like a professional. And this course is supposed to make you a professional in data analysis. And I'll add a little bit of data science to it so that you'll be all around, so that you can be able to leverage this skill. And if you're a student, you want to upgrade your CV, data analysts are being sought of all over the world, and the skill is transferable. A data analyst in Ghana is a data analyst in the US, is a data analyst in the UK. You can transfer your skills everywhere. So knowing the mechanism and knowing the skills and how to go about data and make informed decisions, and have the inquisitive eye and a strategic mind and a quantitative mind will go a long way in landing you a job that will pay you a lot. So don't take this course lightly. And it's not difficult. A lot of people make data science, data analysis, like it's a course that is not for everybody. But I disagree with that. Data analysis is for everybody. It's actually very simple to learn. It's very easy and you can follow. And I'm going to do my best to start from the beginning and advance you through the course, and you'll be able to get the understanding of how data works and how to make meaning of messy data. That is the purpose of this course, to bring power to the people. Yes. So without further ado, I would like to get started with it. So we are going to use Excel. Okay, there are a lot of softwares that you can actually use for data analysis to make meaningful insights. You can use Excel. I'm starting with Excel because everyone knows Excel. Excel, people use it for data reporting, for data entry, and those basic stuff. You can also use Excel as a data scientist. You can use SQL. In another tutorial, I'll look at that. You can use Python to do data analysis. You can use a software called R to do it. I'll make videos on all those if you actually want to go into data science and data analysis, like hardcore, yes, I will make videos of all that. But this is just for the ordinary people. Like, this is for those who don't have any knowledge in data analysis. And the Excel that is always on your PC, is always on your phone, you can actually use it for that. So I am going to walk you through this course as if you have no knowledge of Excel. I am not tempted to believe that everyone that comes to learn on this course has a knowledge or an advanced knowledge of Excel. Some don't even know the navigation and the layout. So I'll start by walking you through it. And in subsequent videos, we look at the other functionalities of Excel, and we zoom in to talk about how we are going to use that to do our data analysis, which is actually very simple. You will say, this is very simple. That's what you are going to say. It's not difficult. Take the barrier off your mind and you are going to enjoy the course. So this is, I created an Excel. This is just a blank page. Excel is like a book, okay? Excel is like a book, and in a book, we have different sheets in the book. So Excel, we call it the workbook. So what I've opened now is called an Excel workbook. And inside the book are different sheets. You can create different sheets, as many as you want. So if you follow my mouse, you will see that down here where I'm pointing my cursor, there is sheet 1. When I come to this plus sign, you can see that I have a tooltip which says new sheet. I can click on that and it will create another sheet. You see sheet 2. I can create another one, sheet 3. I can create another one, sheet 4. So these are what we call Excel sheets, and the entire document that is containing this sheet is what we call the Excel workbook. Okay, so when you open a sheet, an Excel sheet, it has a lot of things that you want to use. I will walk you through most of them, but not all of them, because in the purpose of our course, we will not be needing it. Okay, so I will hint on what we are going to use, and we will good. Don't worry. So let me start from the top. So the ones that you are seeing here with this Excel logo and all these things over here, they are called the quick access tools. Okay, so maybe you don't want to always go to maybe file, then go and save. No, it's a long process for you. So you can have a quick access tool over here so that you can save your file. Maybe you don't always want to go to home and always be using shortcuts to go back. You want to have the undo and you want to have the redo. This is something that I added myself. It's called form, and I'll show you how to add this later on in the course. This is sorting. I added this. I added that. This has sorting tools that you can also use quickly. So if you want to add your tools, you can add any tool that you want. You come to this drop down menu where you see my cursor. It's a customized quick access toolbar. Okay, so you drop down menu and you have a lot. You can add open, you can add email, you can undo some of the things that I've done. Maybe let me deselect the sort descending. You see that this one has disappeared. That is the descending. That's the sorting descending. It's used for filtering. I will talk about that in more videos coming up. Okay, so these are what we call the quick access toolbar. Okay, and you can customize this as you see fit. So now let me come to these things. What are these things called? They are called the tabs. Excel tabs. Okay, so they are mostly file, home, insert, page layout, formulas, data, review, view. Most packages end there. I added these two myself. Okay, these are advanced maneuvering using Excel, and in proper time we can get into that. But if you are not seeing these two, don't panic. I added this myself, and I can show you how to go about it. it is not a problem at all. So if you look at a tab, with each tab comes a ribbon or ribbons. So what you see down here, they are called ribbons, and the ribbons are departmentalized, or they are grouped. Let me put it that way, they are grouped. So one group, for if I come to the home tab, I have a group called the clipboard. So this is where I do my copy, my paste, my cuts, my paste, and all those kind of things here. This is the font ribbon, okay. And under the font, I have a lot of access. I can change the font family, can change it to Time New Romance, I can change it to Arial, I can change it to anything that makes me feel good. It's personal preference, okay. And this is the font size. You can change your text to become big, your numbers to become big or small. Then this is incremental. You can, when you click on this, you increase the font size. So if it's 11, when I press on it, you see that it will go to 12, okay. And if I want to decrease it, it's the second one. So when I press on it, you decrease font size, it will come down to 11, okay. These are used to fill your cells. I'll talk about cells later, but it's for painting. You want to change your text to white, to purple, to cream, whatever color that you want to, whatever suits you, whatever makes you happy. You can use this to fill a text, and to this also to fill a cell. This is for bold, italics. This is underline if you want to underline your word. This is margin if you want to create bottom border. You want the border, you want to segregate your information. So you want the line to be thick, the bottom to be thick. You can use this, okay. These are alignment tools. Merge and center. The merge and center makes sure that you have different cells merging into one. I'll talk about cells later, so you get a better understanding of it, okay. This is in the indentation to give spaces, okay, just like in Microsoft Word. This is the center alignment, this is the left alignment, and this is the right alignment. If you want your text to go to the right, if you want your text to go to the left too, you can use left alignment. And if you want your text to be in the center or in the middle, you can use center alignment. Use this also to wrap a text, okay. And then you come to the numbers, okay. So this is, you'll be using this side a lot, okay, because sometimes the formatting will be different. Use this to format text and numbers, to change it to numbers, currency. Accounting is for when you're dealing with money, which you'll be using, okay, to make it proper, like to standardize it, okay. This is short date. Sometimes when you are using Google Forms, the date can include time and all those things. So you want the date to be short so that it will be simpler to look at. You can use the short date. You can use long date if you want that option too. You can add the time if you want the time of the thing. You don't want the date, you just want the time. You can use that, percentage, fractions, and you can use scientific tools like squares and other things. And then you can also change the what you are doing to text, and we have more commands here that you can use. So this is also part of it. So the conditional formatting is used to easily spot trends and patterns in your data. So it can use bars, it can use icons, colors, and other things to be able to see trends in your data. So the format as table is also used to convert an information, let's say a range of information, into a table, and we have a way that we use it, and I will show you in other videos. Then also the cell styles, you can color your cells, and you can use it to, let's say, format your cells, okay. You can use it to give information as to what people should do. Maybe you have a data, some side of it as inputs, where people can input data, and output, where the input information will give an output, okay. So you use a certain color to show people that when you see this color means that this field is for input, and when you see this other color, it means it's an output. So this cell styles is used for that. And when you come to, so that's all for the cell styles, which is used a lot in data collection and data entry, and also working with data. So insert table or insert rows, insert columns, you can use this cells side to do it. You can delete cells, you can delete rows, columns, you can insert rows and columns. You can also format them in terms of the size, the height, the width. You can format it from here. So when you come to the editing side, we have the auto sum, we have the fill, we have the clear, the sorting, and the filter. We have the find and select, which can also find and replace. Okay, so you can also do data validation here. So this is mostly used for data cleaning. When you want to clean your data, assuming maybe there's you are looking for a certain name, okay, and you want to replace it with another name, or there's a certain spelling mistake that is in your data that you want to correct, that is running through your data, you can select those things and you can replace them using the find and replace. Okay, so that is for the home. Now when you come to the insert, that's where we have our pivot tables. We have our tables. You can insert a table, to categorize your data. You can do a pivot table, which we will talk about in later classes. Then you can insert pictures. You can also insert an online picture. You can insert shapes. When you click on shapes, it can give you a lot of shapes that you can insert. But in the purpose of this class, we are not going to use shapes for anything. So I'm just walking you through. You can have recommended charts, which you are going to, use in this class. You can have pivot charts. Okay, so the pivot chart uses the pivot chart to, it summarizes your data and explore complicated data. So you can use the pivot chart for that. You can also use the power view, the line chart, the column, the win or loss, to give sense of your data, sort of some descriptive analysis of your data. You can have a slicer that you use to filter the data that you are categorizing, or the data that you are analyzing. You can use the slicer and the timeline. Timeline is for periodic data, so data over time. You can use timeline to filter the dates, the months, and other things. You can also use the links, the hyperlink, to link sheets to, like, different sheets. So when you select this link, it takes you to a particular sheet. Okay, you can also have an equation and symbols that this is more for let me say, when you're doing analysis, or when you're doing calculations, like it's more mathematical. Okay, so this, when you're doing statistics, like binomial distribution and binomial theory and binomial distributions and other stuff, you will need this, but for the purpose of this class, you are not going to need it, so it's not necessary. So we come to the tab of page layout. You can change your theme over here. You can change the theme that you are currently using, and it will change the styling of the workbook that you're using. Okay, so the margins, you can select your margins. Okay, then orientation, whether you want your book to be in a portrait orientation or the landscape. You can print areas too. So these are, the page layout, that there are different options that you can explore if you have time. So let's go to formulas, which you'll be using a lot. So you can insert your formula. You can click this function to insert your formula, or you can Excel has categorize the formula into a lot of ribbons. Okay, so the first one is the auto sum, which has the big five. Okay, these are called the big five. We are going to use it a lot in our data analysis or business analysis class. The sum, the average, the count numbers, the maximum, the minimum. Okay, it's very, very, very important. Recently use that is the recently use like Excel has found out that people use this formulas a lot. That is the sum, the average, the if, the hyperlink, the count, the sum if, and the the PMT. That is the standard deviation too. Or this is a financial term, and we are not doing financial analysis, so I'm not going to go into that. So this, as I said, this is for financial analysis. As I said, we are not going to go to that, so I'm going to skip it. But if you're interested in doing financial analysis, you can take a good look at it. It will be in another class, but not this class. Doing the future value, the net present value, the the present value, and all those kind of calculations for financial analysis, but that's not the focus of this class, so I'm going to skip it. So we come to the logical functions, which is the and, the false, the if error, if not available, not or true, or the XOR functions. They are all useful in data analysis. I'm not really going to do all. I'll select the ones that I normally use and the ones that you will be needing in most of your work as a business analyst or as a data analyst. Okay, so we are also going to use the text functions mostly to clean data. It's mostly for cleaning data and for extracting some kind of data to, mostly for cleaning data. Okay, we use the text functions a lot to clean data, to make data presentable, to make the data nice, and that's what most of the text functions are used for. And you are going to use that when we get to the cleaning data session, where we are going to clean data. We are going to try and clean messy data. Most people fill information in a messy form, so data is rarely clean. Like you just get the data and you just do it. No, if that was the work, like the work could be simple. Sometimes most of the time is spent in cleaning data, messy data. Most data is not consistent, so you will need a lot. You need skills to be able to clean the data, because most of the data that you encounter in real world is messy because of human errors and other omissions and other things that make the data messy. So the rest, we are not going to look at them. That's for engineering and mathematical purposes and other things. We are not going to look at them. And this, we are not going to look at this tab, the formula auditing tab. Maybe we can take a look at the calculations, the calculation options and calculated fields and all that, but that will be in later in the course. Okay, so now we are going to the data. That is where we are going to spend most of our time. Okay, so most of our time in this course will be centered on this tab, the data tab, which helps you to import data from different sources, PDFs, other SQL, and other for Microsoft Query and other places. Okay, you can set connections between it and other things. You can existing connections. You can refresh when you make changes. You can use it to sort. You can filter. You can have advanced sorting options, which we will use. They have the flash fill, which I will demonstrate to you in a few minutes. Text to columns, you can do that. You remove duplicates, which is very essential for data cleaning. Data validation, so that you have consistent data, and so that you can have valid data that is for consistency and for easy analysis. You can consolidate data. We have what you call the what if analysis. Then we have the group. You can group data, okay, just like in SQL, okay, or on group data. This analysis, I added it, okay, I added the solver and the data analysis for, but I will show you how to do it because I'm going to talk about statistics in in other videos, or I don't know whether it will be the next one or the next two. I have to talk about statistics for data analysis, which is important because one thing I've realized is that people teach data analytics and data science or data or business analysis, and they just teach the Excel, the SQL, and what have you. They teach the software, but they don't teach what is behind. Like when the person gets the data, how will the person make insight of this data? So you have a lot of data analysts that cannot make meaningful insight into data, and they can give you the data, but they can't inform, they can't make recommendations well, they can't make informed decisions. Why? Because they lack the statistical background to interpret this information. And I'm not going to leave you bereft of that information. I'm actually going to do maybe a beginner course in statistics. I'm not going to go deep in just what you need, just what you need for your business, okay, or what you need as a data analyst, just the basics, so that you when you are interpreting your data, you can understand it. When you have your data, your personal business, and you have your data, you see the data, the metrics, you will be able to understand what is going on because you have the basics in statistics, and I'm going to do that in this course. So as I said, we'll be doing a lot in this tab. So let's go to the review tab. I'm just walking you through this. You can check your spellings, you can check the words, you can use the dictionary, you can protect a sheet. Like, it's for your personal consumption if you want to. Then you go to the view, you can remove your formula, but if you don't want, if it's looking nasty for you, you can remove it. You can remove your grid, you understand, it will can remove the grid, it will remove all the lines, the box in the Excel, for you to have a nice looking gridless look if you want it. But I think if you have it, it's better. It shows you where you are at a particular point in time. It gives you direction. You can zoom, you can freeze panes. Freezing panes means that maybe when you make a heading and you are scrolling through thousands of data, okay, you don't want the headings to be missing so that you get lost in the data. So you freeze the panes, or you freeze the headings, so that your data, when you're moving, you can still see the columns that you are working with. So that is also very important when you are doing data analysis, especially if you have millions of rows. You don't want to get lost in the information. You want to see where you are at a particular point in time. We have the macros. The macros is, as I said, is for developers. It's sort of like a language, okay, and you use to record and to automate repetitive tasks. Okay, so if you are doing a particular thing in Excel over and over again, like that's the work that you do, you always, it's monotonous, it's repetitive, sometimes it becomes boring. So you just use macros to automate it. And I will specifically teach macros in a separate course, how to automate Excel taxes. You have to learn it. It's a whole course on its own, but I will not cover it in this course. These two, as I said earlier, I added it myself, which is the Power Pivot and the Developer, and that is also the developer. As I said earlier, is the macros, but this is the actual expansion of it. Okay, this is where if you want to do those kind of coding, like do small coding, writing macros and VBA. It's called VBA, and I don't want to go into that. I will share that later. This is for data modeling. This is for data modeling. This is an advanced feature for data analyst or business analyst. This is an advanced feature that you can use to model your data, to prepare your data, to see key performing indicators and other things, okay, to make a data model. This is for data modeling, and you will look at that very soon, okay, but not now, later on. Okay, so I've walked you through the tabs, I've walked you through the ribbons that Excel has. I've given you a general overview of it. So if this is your first time working with Excel, I think by now you have a fair knowledge of what Excel is used for. As I'm going a little further, and I'm coming to this is the formula bar. This is where you can type your formula. You can type your formula from different angles. This is one of the ways that you can type your formula. Okay, this is called the formula bar. You have this, which is called the name box, and it shows your cell referencing. I'm going to explain that in a couple of seconds. Okay, so when you come to, okay, as I said earlier, so this little guy here is used, as I said, is used to select everything in the worksheet. Okay, so if you don't want to select him again, you just click inside any of this to deselect. So maybe you want to copy the entire worksheet. Okay, you can just come here and click this little guy over here, and it will copy everything for you. Okay, yes. So now let me get into this. Okay, so as you can see, Excel has letters and it has numbers. Okay, so the alphabet or the letters are what we call the columns, then the numbers are what we call rows. Okay, so we say that column A, column B, column C, column D, up to column Z, then row 1, row 2, row 3, like that, up to millions. Okay, so now what makes up a cell? A cell is the intersection of a column and a row. Okay, so when you have A, which is a column, meets the row, which is 1. Okay, we have cell A1. Okay, A and 1, cell A1, and this is what we call a cell. And the cell, as you can see, is a rectangle, and this is what we call data frame. Data science uses data data frames to store data, and Excel knows that, so it has already given us the visual view of how data is stored, and is stored in data frames. So we look at that more. It's not really necessary. You just have to know that we have something that we call data frames, and Excel uses that, and that's the basics of them having rows and columns. Okay, for easy understanding. So as I said, this is what we call the cell, and the cell has a reference. So the cell reference is what we call A1. Okay, and the cell referencing is always seen in the name box over here. So the name box shows you the active cell. So let me go and click here. So when I go to the name box, I see H4. So you can see a green border around it. Okay, that shows that the cell that is active is what? H4. H, the column H, and the row 4. So I believe now you have a better understanding of what a cell is, and what cell referencing is, and what a column and a row is. It is absolutely very important, because that's what you're actually going to use for your formulas and other things for referencing in Excel. That's actually what you're going to use. If you want to work in Excel, you have to understand rows, you have to understand columns, you have to understand cell referencing and what a cell means. And it's not difficult. I believe it's super easy. You will understand it. I believe everyone is very simple and everyone understands it. And I've taken my time to actually explain it for your consumption. So as you can see, when you come down here, you can see there are other tabs over here. This is the zoom. Okay, so when you want to, maybe you can't, you have an eye problem, maybe the text that you are seeing is very small for you, you want it to become bigger, you want the window to become bigger for you, you can actually zoom in. Okay, you can actually zoom in to see. Okay, you can zoom out too. Then we have then you can scroll down. You have the scroll bar for both the columns, the scroll bar for the rows too, that you can use to navigate and know, especially if you have many columns or many rows. This is what we are going to use, okay, in Excel. So generally, this is a navigation. This is the general overview of Excel, and I believe you understand. But before I end this session, let me just give you a general overview of let me enter some data for you to see. Okay, so let me see a month. Let me enter month. Okay, maybe I entered month in column A, as you can see on row 2. Okay, so it is the cell referencing for month is what, A2. Okay, and then let me start populating it. Populating means adding or data. That, so anytime that I use the word populate, I mean I'm adding data to it. So let me populate it by adding the different months of the year. Then I'm going to show you something here. Okay, so maybe I have January. Okay, why should I go through the burden and the laborious task, I don't know, to fill January, write February, type April? No, it's too burdensome. So Excel knows that it's actually monotonous and it's not nice and it's time consuming. So Excel has introduced a feature which is known as the flash fill. Okay, flash fill and autofill. Okay, it is intended for Excel to predict what you want to write. Okay, if it's in sequence, and it will do that for you in an incremental manner. So how do I activate this autofill? Okay, or flash fill? You can use the shortcut key Control plus E, or you can use your mouse. Let me show you how to use your mouse. So you see my cursor is a big plus, white plus. Now I'm taking it to the corner of this active cell. Okay, as you can see, when I took it down to the right corner of this active cell of this green border, it turns to black, a little black cross or plus. Okay, that is what we call the flash fill, and you can activate it by dragging it. Okay, when you drag it, it works. So I'm dragging it. So when I drag it down, you can see that it's giving me two tips of the months that I can is filling for me. Although, and when I release it, all these things will show. Okay, so now, oh sorry. Okay, so now it's filled to me. Okay, I want to continue. Okay, I want to continue. So it continues for me up to I get to December. Okay, so it adds the rest to December. But as you can see, September, November, December is entering into column B, and it's nasty because if I should enter another data here, it will be very messy. So how do I fix that? You fix that by auto fitting or by formatting. But instead of me to maybe come here and select the whole, I can do it by coming here, selecting the whole. Now before I go further, you see this arrow when you see my cursor, okay, my mouse, that when I bring it on the column, it drops down. It has a drop down arrow which is black. It is used to select the whole column. I can also come here and select a whole row. with the same thing. Okay, and I can, that's how we select and deselect a row. So if I want a row and column, so if I want to select a row, I can bring the mouse to the row that I want to select, and you select everything in the row. Okay, the same for column. So if I want to auto fit this column A that this month is found in, I can just click on it. Okay, when the black arrow that is pointing downwards shows on it, I can click on it and it will select everything, as you can see. So if I want to fix this problem, okay, I will just take my mouse straight to format. Okay, then there are a lot of formatting options for me, but I just want to fit the width, not the height. Okay, so I'll go to auto fit so that Excel will calculate the space that I need and give it to me. Okay, so when I click on auto fit, it's fixed it. Okay, now it's fit and it fixes the problem. Now September is in the space of A, that's not crossed to the B column. Okay, now let me bring this problem back. Okay, so now we have a problem again. So what else can I do? Maybe I want to I can't select, is maybe a waste of time. You can actually bring your mouse in between column A and B, and the moment you bring it, you see this black cross sign, big black cross sign. Okay, which shows direction. It's like a compass. Okay, when you see it, you can just hold and drag it, or you can just drag it. When you drag it, it moves. Okay, so you can see that the line moves from the original and the line is moving, so you can see two lines. Okay, so when I gauge, okay, now I can see that the second line has crossed the September or November and December, so I can release it. And when I release it, it auto fits for me. The same way I can do for numbers. Maybe let me do numbers. I can also use autofill for numbers. Okay, and flash fill for numbers. So maybe I want to type, or maybe let me use, I can use it for years, you can use it for numbers. I'm just showing you that you can use it for a lot of things. So maybe I have this, and then before I go, now Excel, when you type a value and you press enter, it moves you to the next row. But maybe you want to move to the next column. Okay, maybe you want to move to the next column. When you type, you press tab instead of enter, and it moves you to the next column. Okay, if you want to remain in the same column, then you press shift plus enter, then you remain there. So maybe I've typed 1, I want to work with that and use to autofill. I don't want to move to whether the left or the down, then I'll press shift and enter. Okay, then it takes me there, but because I'm here, it takes me to the upper row. But shift and enter will let you be in the column that you have selected. So I'm using my flash fill over here. Okay, when I'm selecting it down, I'm coming. So I will do 2 and I will do 3. Okay, so now Excel will know that I want to populate it. Okay, so it will populate it for me, then to as many numbers as I want. Now just realize, I want you to see something. I pressed 1. Okay, for numbers I pressed 1 and I left it. Now when I want to populate it, see what will happen. It will come 1. Why? Because Excel is just recognizing this number that I just want to copy it down. Okay, I just want to copy the same number. It's not incremental. I have to make Excel think that I'm incrementing it. Okay, let me go to Control Z, which is for undo. Okay, so now when I add another number, then Excel will now see that now I want to do a countdown. I want to do numbers. Okay, then the auto, you can see the flash fill here. Okay, you can see the quick analysis and the flash fill here. So when it comes, it means that now I can populate it, and it will populate to 12. So that's what I did. So if you're lost with what I did earlier, that's what I'm showing you. Okay, so this is for numbers. All right, then you can have this is a quick analysis tool when when a cell or a column is active, you can copy, you can fill series, you can fill formatting only, you can flash fill. So what I did is the flash fill. Okay, I did it with the same with the months, and I've done it with the numbers. You can use it for a lot of things. You can use it for quarters, like maybe um I have quarter one. Okay, then I have quarter two. Okay, then I want to maybe fill the rest. Okay, SL give me quarter three to quarter four, because you have just 4 quarters and it knows. So you can use it for a whole lot of data formats, and it will make your data very, very easy to enter. You will not waste time typing a lot. So I just introduce you to formatting tools, which is the flash fill, the auto fit, and the navigation of Excel. Okay, so the next video will let us go a little deeper into Excel, using Excel for business analysis. So as you can see, I clicked another sheet. It came as if I've not done anything, but when every active sheet is represented, you see that it has the borders are being removed, the top border is removed. Okay, yes, so that shows that it's active. So now I can come and select my sheet 1, and you can see the work that has been done. So now this is all that we have today. Thank you very much for having the patience to be with me. Thank you for choosing to learn business analysis with Excel with me. I'm super happy to have you. Please like my video, please subscribe, share this information with other people so that they can also have this power that you are getting to be able to analyze their data with Excel with ease and without any stress,